Have you ever wondered why governments function differently across the world? Comparative politics, the lens through which we study these differences, has a rich and fascinating history that dates back to ancient Greece. It was here, in the cradle of Western civilization, where the philosophical underpinnings of comparative politics were first established. Philosophers like Plato and Aristotle started to ask the big questions. They observed different city-states, each with its own unique political system, and began to compare their structures and effectiveness. This marked the birth of comparative politics as a field of inquiry. Fast forward to the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, another significant era in the development of comparative politics. Enter Niccolò Machiavelli, an Italian diplomat and historian. He authored The Prince, a seminal work that compared different types of leadership and their impacts on governance. His writings, controversial yet illuminating, provided a deeper understanding of the dynamics of power and authority. As we transition into the Enlightenment era, comparative politics started to crystallize into a distinct academic discipline. Enlightened thinkers began to systematically study and compare different forms of government. They sought to understand the principles that underpin political systems and the effects these systems had on societies. Thinkers like Montesquieu with his theory of the separation of powers and Rousseau with his social contract theory further enriched the field of comparative politics. In each of these historical periods, the foundation of comparative politics was continuously built upon and refined. The philosophies, theories, and insights gleaned from these eras still resonate today, helping us to better understand the diverse political landscapes that exist around the world. And thus, comparative politics was born, ready to delve deeper into the workings of governments. The journey has been long and the path winding, but as we'll see, the evolution of comparative politics is a testament to our enduring quest to understand the complex and varied ways in which societies choose to govern themselves. But how has comparative politics evolved over the centuries? As we step into the 19th and 20th centuries, comparative politics began to expand its horizons. It was no longer just about comparing different forms of government. Now, the focus shifted to looking at institutions, behaviors, and outcomes. It was about understanding how these elements interact and influence each other within different political systems. The world wars of the 20th century had a profound impact on the field. The wars brought into sharp focus the dire consequences of political decisions and ideologies. Comparative politics became a tool to understand the causes and effects of these global conflicts, to learn from past mistakes, and to strive for a more peaceful and stable world order. The Cold War period, with its ideological tussle between democracy and communism, further fueled developments in comparative politics. The field was used to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of different political systems and ideologies, and to understand the factors that led to the rise or fall of these systems. The 20th century also saw the emergence of quantitative methods in comparative politics. Using data and statistics, political scientists started to analyze complex political phenomena in a more systematic and precise manner. This was a significant shift from the largely qualitative approaches of the past. Another significant development was the influence of modernization theory. This theory suggested that societies progress through similar stages of development, from traditional to modern. It influenced comparative politics by proposing that political change and development followed predictable patterns and could therefore be studied and compared. Yet, as the field evolved, it also recognized the limitations of this theory. It acknowledged the diversity and complexity of political systems and the multiple paths they might take towards development and change. This understanding has shaped the more nuanced and multifaceted approach of comparative politics today. From its humble beginnings, comparative politics has grown into a complex and multifaceted discipline. So, what does comparative politics look like today? Let's dive right into the heart of modern comparative politics. In this current era, the focus has broadened significantly. It's not just about comparing political systems anymore. It's about institutions, political behaviors and outcomes. It's about understanding how these elements work together to shape the political landscapes of today. Institutions, for instance, are no longer viewed as mere structures of government. They're seen as dynamic entities that can influence and be influenced by various factors, from formal bodies like parliaments and courts to informal ones like cultural norms and social networks. Institutions play a pivotal role in shaping political behaviors and outcomes. Speaking of political behaviors, they've become a central focus too. We're not just talking about voting patterns or party affiliations. We're talking about the behaviors of individuals, groups, and even entire societies. How do people perceive the political world around them? How do they respond to changes in their political environments? These are the kind of questions that modern comparative politics seeks to answer. And then there are outcomes. By outcomes, we mean the consequences of political behaviors and institutional dynamics. These could range from policy decisions to social change. The aim here is to understand the cause-effect relationships in politics and to predict potential future outcomes. Modern comparative politics also embraces a variety of research methods. Both qualitative and quantitative approaches are utilized, often in combination, to analyze political phenomena. Qualitative research might involve case studies, interviews, or historical analysis, while quantitative research might involve statistical analysis or mathematical modeling. In the backdrop of all this is the profound influence of globalization. As our world becomes more interconnected, comparative politics has developed a keen focus on understanding political change. It strives to comprehend how global trends like economic integration, technological advancement, and cultural exchange are impacting political systems and processes. Comparative politics continues to evolve, striving to understand the complexities of global politics. Because at the end of the day, understanding these complexities is key to navigating our ever-changing political world. Now that we understand its history, what are the key concepts in comparative politics? Well, let's dive right in. The first key concept we'll discuss is the state. In comparative politics, the state refers to the organization that maintains a monopoly of the legitimate use of force within a specific territory. It's the institution that makes and enforces laws, providing a framework within which all other political and social organizations operate. Next up, we have the regime. A regime is the fundamental rules and norms of politics, embodying long-term goals regarding the freedom and equality that structure the operation of government. Regimes can be democratic or authoritarian, and they are often established through a constitution. Thirdly, we have the government. This term refers to the leadership or elite in charge of running the state. They are responsible for implementing policies and maintaining the day-to-day operations of the state. Governments can change frequently, especially in democratic systems where leaders are elected. Our fourth concept is civil society. This is the space occupied by voluntary associations outside of the state, such as non-governmental organizations, community groups, religious organizations, and labor unions. Civil society plays a crucial role in holding the state accountable and advocating for change. Last but not least, we have political culture. This term refers to the attitudes, values, and beliefs about politics that are shared by the population. Political culture influences how people perceive their role within the political system and how they interact with the state. These concepts, the state, regime, government, civil society, and political culture, are not isolated. They interact and influence each other in nuanced ways, shaping the political landscape of a given country. By using these concepts, we can compare and contrast different political systems, identifying patterns, understanding changes, and predicting potential future developments. They provide us with a lens through which we can view and analyze the political world. These concepts serve as the building blocks of comparative politics, helping us make sense of the world's diverse political systems. So, what have we learned about comparative politics? Let's take a moment to reflect on our journey through this fascinating field. We started at the origins of comparative politics, where we saw how political philosophers and thinkers first began to compare different political systems and ideologies. This was a time of exploration and the birth of a new approach to understanding politics. From here, we moved on to the evolution of comparative politics. This period was marked by the development of robust methods and frameworks for comparison. Scholars began to use systematic methods to study political phenomena, seeking to explain why political systems differ and what consequences these differences have. It was a time of growth and refinement for the field. Next, we dove into the modern state of comparative politics. Today, the field is more dynamic and diverse than ever. It encompasses a wide range of topics, from the study of democracies and autocracies to the analysis of policymaking and political behavior. It's a vibrant and constantly evolving field that continues to offer new insights into the workings of politics around the globe. Of course, we cannot forget the key concepts we discussed. We delved into ideas such as political culture, institutions, and systems. These concepts form the backbone of comparative politics, providing the tools we use to analyze and understand the complexities of different political realities. And so, we find ourselves at the end of our journey. But remember, this is just the beginning. The field of comparative politics is vast, and there is always more to learn, more to explore, and more to understand. By understanding comparative politics, we gain a deeper appreciation of the world's diverse political systems and the factors that shape them. So, let's continue to delve into this intriguing world, and let's continue to learn, because after all, knowledge is power.